Itchy. It was pretty flat the whole way, and the next thing you know, boom, Wichita Mountains. Yeah, why are we standing on the rocks?
Welcome into another video. Today we're taking you to Oklahoma, and we're talking about childcare as a traveler on the road.
You sound so fake.
Yeah, that sounded so fake.
Okay.
I know, but was it funny?
Okay, get down from the rocks.
Okay.
Wait, but I like being tall.
So we are at the Wichita Mountains National Wildlife Refuge. It's a mouthful, but it's in Oklahoma, kind of out in the middle of nowhere. We drove for a long while to get here, and it was pretty flat the whole way, and the next thing you know, boom, Wichita Mountains.
Whoa!
We saw this recommended by some of our YouTube friends, Consider the Wonders, and it looked like a fun place, and we were relatively close to it, so we thought we'd come out and do a day trip, do some hiking. As you see, Reagan's along with us, so is Olivia, and so we're going to be out here exploring some of the great Wichita mountains. There's bison out here, there's longhorns, prairie dogs, all free roaming. We were going to do some camping here, but the Subaru is in the shop right now, so we couldn't pull the pop-up camper, so it's going to turn into a day trip.
Yeah, their bison are going up this way?
Not a trail.
Okay, I don't know if we should trust the one who's never liked camping or hiking, but here we go. The bison here are free range, so you can run into them while you're hiking. We did see one already on our way in, taking a nap next to the road. So we'll see if we see any others while we're out.
The campgrounds are actually inside the wildlife refuge, and so they can wander into your campsite, which we thought that'd be kind of scary, but yet awesome at the same time when we were booked to camp here. But we had to kind of cancel at the last minute, again, because the Subaru's in the shop. Hoping to get that back this next week, because we got a lot of camping lined up in Texas that we're planning on doing and using that pop-up. How you doing back there, Reagan? Hanging in there? This is good for me. Have a 20-pound child strapped to my back while climbing up a mountain. Probably good for my health.
That's pretty clear. You doing okay, baby? Having fun?
Yeah, so this is really great. There's a lot of great trails out here at the refuge. This one here is the Elk Trail, and from that there's tons of trails around these different lakes.
When you hit the road as a traveler with a child, there's a few extra things you have to start thinking about. And one of the major ones is childcare. What to do with your baby while you're at work. And you know that traveling, it really gives you the benefit of making the most money you can, seeing cool things. So sometimes it's beneficial to both be on contract. And in that case, one of your options is just finding a daycare.
What we mean by that is actually wherever your assignment location is, actually vetting some of the childcare places there that you would leave your child with these people in their care. Now for us that sounds really scary as first-time parents, but we got to remember that even if you were in your hometown and you were looking for childcare of that sort, you were going to have to vet daycares anyway. It's just a little bit more cumbersome because, you know, every time you move, every 3 to 6 months, you're going to have to re-vet the daycare center.
So this could be something that you choose to look into before you accept a contract, just like we choose to look into our housing options and kind of like the crime rate of an area. We always check that before we accept a job. So this might just be another thing you would have to check before you sign on the dotted line.
Yeah, and you might want to add some time to get to your assignment location before you start, like a week or two, so you can actually maybe go in person to some of these daycare centers so they have what's best for your child before you leave your child with them.
It's option one.
Crikey, everyone. We've just spotted our first longhorn here on the trail.
This is the worst
The Longhorn Trail. We just told Olivia that that's stupid. We wouldn't see a longhorn on the Longhorn Trail. But yet there's one right over there in the prairie.
That was the worst accent I've ever heard.
Oh, I wish I had a better lens on my camera right now, so I can't really zoom in, so you just gotta trust this. It's over there, I promise. You can see its long horns.
That looks burned too. It's so harsh. That was way closer than I was expecting.
We are about to go on the Elk Mountain Trail to hopefully get some really cool views. But it's going to be a little bit of a hike, strenuous hike, up to the top of the mountain.
This is our first like scary hike since before Reagan was born. Now you have a baby on your back.
Do not let your day hike turn into a night rescue.
Yes.
I think it's worth it.
All right, we see people way up at the top of the mountain. Megan's freaking out a little bit because it is rocky. It is kind of a strenuous trail. And so we'll just have to be careful, take our time.
Do you have service up there?
Reagan, you still doing good back there? What do you think of all this? Well, we made it to the top. It's very windy up here. Actually, my hat blew off. Thankfully, Olivia got it. But very windy up here. Beautiful views. Definitely worth the hike.
Yeah, absolutely gorgeous. You can see for miles. You can see both sides, kind of the flat land that we drove through, and then all the hills.
All the little lakes out here too. So definitely worth it. It was about a 3-mile hike up, and it was pretty strenuous. I mean, you were climbing over boulders pretty well the whole way. So a good ascent, but I would say we're kind of average people, and we made it. So if you're average also, then I think you can do it. Now we got to make the 3-mile hike back down, and then I think we're going to go over to maybe the Holy City. All right, to address our second option for childcare while being a travel therapist is one of you in the couple can stay home and be a stay-home dad, stay-home mom. This is probably something we will transition into once we don't have our wonderful babysitter, Olivia. And as of right now, Megan's gonna stay home with Reagan and be a stay-home mom. She really enjoys that. But you can always swap off. Gotta feed her. Gotta bring snacks when you hike with the baby. But you can always switch off too. So take turns. One contract I work, one contract Megan works. But that's definitely another option where only one of you works and the other one is your child care.
Working as a traveler makes that option a little bit easier because you do have the benefits of getting tax-free stipends. So with one of you not working, you might be able to handle that a little bit more than you would if one of you were staying home at a permanent job. So that's number 2 of the child care options you can pick from.
Is it before you go?
Let him go, Reagan. Look. Look at those elk.
Well, while we were driving to the Holy City, we got to see some elk running in the field and some longhorns. We also saw one bison. And haven't seen the herd of bison, just this kind of one lone bison moseying around. But we didn't even know that there was elk in the park, and so it was really cool to see some Roosevelt elk out here. So we got pulled over and got Reagan up to the window so she could see it. She thinks they're pretty cool.
Loud. The right?
For our final number 3 of childcare option is you bring your babysitter with you. And so we are very fortunate to have Megan's cousin Olivia here. She agreed to come with us on our first contract in Kansas, and then also this contract here in Texas. So to be with us for about a total of 6 months. And then she'll be leaving us. And so that's been really great. It allowed both Megan and I to work the travel contract in both places. And then we had someone we trusted stay home with Reagan and watch her.
Yeah, it's been really awesome to have somebody great with kids that we know, that we trust, to be with us and watching Reagan. It takes out, you know, some of the stress of trying to find a daycare place in a new town, and it allows us both to work. So it's a really nice option, but you got to have people in the right stage of their life there. So
yeah, and I think it can be flexible also to where it can be a family member, it can be someone that you trust that is flexible with their living style, that they can go travel with you. I think also a good option that we might try later on is retired parents. So one of our retired parents, if they would want to travel with us and kind of see different areas, even if it's off and on, to where sometimes we do normal contracts where just one of us is working and the other one is a stay-home parent. And then other times where maybe some of the grandparents come with us and adventure along with us for maybe a contract or two. So that might be another option. Housing is another big thing that you'll want to consider. So if you're bringing another adult with you to watch your kids, you're going to need a little bit bigger space to live in. And so, as most of you know, we have Big Betty, our RV, but for 3 adults and a kid, that just wasn't going to cut it, just not enough space for us. And so these past 2 contracts, we've actually had to rent a house off Furnish Finder or Airbnb and get like a 2-bedroom place. And so another thing to just kind of consider. We just got done at the Holy City, just kind of walking around looking at that. It's an Easter pageant that's been going on for almost 100 years now. We got to see some elk, longhorn, 1 bison, and got to do some great hiking today. So I would say a very underrated, unheard of park to go to, or wildlife refuge in the middle of Oklahoma. Would never have guessed to come here, but it was actually really, really beautiful.
yeah, it's a cool Midwest place. Like,
Yeah.
the Midwest gets a little void of places to go to that are outdoors, that have interesting landscape, but this is cool, and it's here.
Yeah, definitely a must-do if you're in the area. But other than that, we're going to be beelining it back to Texas in our little home since we don't have the camper to sleep in. Got a long drive ahead of us, and so unless you guys have anything else to say, other than that,
Arrivederci.
arrivederci. Until next time, see ya.